Now let's go ahead and prepare our roasted vegetables. Lots and lots of roasted vegetables. So I'm going to start by preparing some roasted potatoes. I peeled my potatoes as shown in the video, and then I'm going to wash them well. Then moving on, I'm just going to cut some of my potatoes to halves. I had like 6 to 7 potatoes. I'm just going to cut them in halves, and then I'm going to set them aside. Moving on, I'm also going to prepare some potato wedges. So I'm just going to do this in advance so I don't repeat the process again and again. After I peeled my potatoes, I divided them in half, and then I cut the first half into halves, potato halves, and then the second half into wedges as shown in the video. So I just decided to prepare them together so I don't repeat the process again, because we are going to need the potato wedges in our next recipe. I'm just going to cut my wedges as shown in the video, and then I'm going to add them to my basin right there, that black basin with the water, and then I'm going to wash them thoroughly as shown in the video, and then I'm also going to rewash them again. Then moving on, I'm just going to add my potatoes to my pot so I can cook them for like 3 minutes. I'm going to first add my potatoes that we cut in halves, and then to the top I'm going to add my potato wedges as shown in the video. I'm sorry about this part of the video, is a little bright. I hope you can see what I'm doing. After adding my potatoes, I'm going to add my water to slightly cover them, and then I'm going to add a pinch of salt to taste. I'm going to fire up my stove and add my potato pot, and then I'm just going to cook my potatoes for 3 minutes. You have to do it for exactly 3 minutes or 2 minutes. You don't want to overcook your potatoes. I'm going to switch off my stove and drain the water or strain the water on my potatoes. Moving on, I'm going to add some oil to my pan, and then I'm going to add some rosemary leaves. The rosemary leaves I had were dry and they worked just well. If you have fresh rosemary leaves, just use them. And then I'm just going to let that cook for like 2 minutes so my oil absorbs the rosemary. And then moving on, I'm going to strain my oil. We only want the oil and not the rosemary leaves now. We just want the seasoned oil, And then I'm just going to strain my oil and re-add it to my pan. Then moving on, I'm going to add my potato halves as shown in the video, and then I'm going to just roast my potatoes. I'm just going to give them a little shake, rock and roll to unstick them from the bottom of the pan. And then I'm just going to let these potatoes roast and fry for a little while as shown in the video. So this is going to take you like 15 to 20 minutes, and you're going to do this on medium-low heat. You're not going to do this on high heat and rush your potatoes. You have to make sure that your potatoes are cooked even in the inside. So I'm just going to give them a little shake again, just to make sure they're not stuck. It's not even a word. Stuck at the bottom of my pot. And then I'm just going to just turn both sides, and then I'm going to fry these potatoes to golden brown. So like you can see, I just Added a little oil to my pot. You don't have to add so much oil. We are not frying these potatoes like deep frying them. We are just going to be shallow frying them as shown in the video. And like you can see right now, our potatoes are beginning to have the golden brown color touch that we want. I'm just going to flip both sides or turn both sides to make sure my potatoes are cooked evenly, yeah, to the perfect golden brown color that we want. And like you can see right now, our potatoes are ready. I'm going to remove them from my pan as shown in the video, and then I'm going to turn off my heat and remove all oil from my pan. You have to turn off your heat. Moving on, let's go ahead and season our potatoes. To my empty pan, I'm going to add half a tablespoon of coriander powder and half a tablespoon of paprika. I'm also going to add a quarter tablespoon of cayenne pepper to give it a little heat, and a quarter tablespoon of ginger and a quarter tablespoon of garlic powder and a quarter tablespoon of black pepper. So the black pepper and the cayenne pepper is to give our potatoes a little heat. Yeah, and then I'm going to add some chopped fresh coriander and mix well. And then I'm just going to add my potatoes that we just prepared right now. I'm also going to add a dash of oil to our seasoning, yeah, so our potatoes don't become so dry. And then I'm just going to mix this well as shown in the video, and like you can see, our potatoes are ready. I'm going to set them aside. Now let's go ahead and prepare our potato wedges. I'm going to add a little bit of my oil to my pan. I'm going to add again my rosemary leaves, and then I'm going to let my oil absorb them for like 2 minutes. I'm then going to turn off my heat and strain my oil as shown in the video. You have to strain your oil. We only need the oil and not the rosemary leaves anymore. I'm then going to just re-add my oil to my pan as shown in the video. I'm now just going to turn on my stove again, and then I'm just going to be adding my potato wedges as shown in the video one by one. So we are going to be shallow frying our potatoes first. We are not going to be deep frying our potatoes. That's why I added just a little bit of oil to my pan. And then I'm just going to give them a little shake and re-add all my potatoes to my pan as shown in the video. And then I'm just going to use my fork to turn my potatoes and to create space for my other potato wedges, since I want to do this in one turn. I'm just going to fry my potatoes or roast my potatoes on medium low heat. So this is going to take you again 15 to 30 minutes, and you have to make sure your heat is low so your potatoes can cook or fry even in the inside. I'm just going to be turning my potato wedges several times just to make sure that I have the perfect golden brown color that I want. So you have to be patient and do this step by step like I've explained in the video. And this is going to take you 15 to 30 minutes like I've said again. So like you can see right there, our potatoes are beginning to become golden brown. I'm going to give them a little shake, rock and roll, and turn them as shown in the video. And like you can see right there, our potatoes are ready now. I'm just going to give them a turn again to make sure both sides are evenly cooked and let them cook for a little while again as shown in the video. And after some time, like you can see right here, our potatoes are golden brown and they have a beautiful color. I'm just going to remove them from my pan and set them aside. Then moving on, I'm going to empty my pan, and turn off my stove. I'm then going to start seasoning our potato wedges. To my pan, I'm going to add a quarter tablespoon of garlic powder and a quarter tablespoon of ginger powder. I'm also going to add half a tablespoon of paprika and a quarter tablespoon of black pepper. And then I'm going to add a quarter tablespoon of cayenne pepper to give our potatoes a little heat, and I'm also going to add half a tablespoon of coriander powder. I'm going to add a dash of oil to my pan, and then I'm going to give that mixture a good mix with my spoon. And then now I'm just going to re-add my potato wedges to my pan, and then I'm going to give them a little shake, rock and roll to make sure they're seasoned well with our spices that we added. And then I'm going to add some fresh chopped coriander, lots and lots of fresh chopped coriander. And then I'm going to give this a good mix as shown in the video. I'm now just going to add a pinch of salt to taste, and then I'm going to mix this again by shaking it, as shown in the video. And like you can see right now, our potatoes are ready. I'm going to set them aside. Let's go ahead and make our next recipe. This next recipe is roasted carrots again. I made lots and lots of roasted stuff. So I'm just going to prepare my carrots. I peeled my carrots the other day and washed them well and kept them so I can use them the next day. So moving on, I'm just going to lay my carrots on my board. I add those 4 medium-sized carrots that you can see right there, and then I'm just going to chop them with my knife as shown in the video. And like you can see right there, our carrots are ready. I'm just going to chop the rest of them off camera. Now let's go ahead and start preparing our carrots. I'm going to add some oil to my pan as shown in the video. Since I have so many carrots, and then I'm going to do them in 2 batches or in 2 trips. So this time I added a little bit more oil to my pan. Then I'm just going to add my carrots that I just prepared to my pan as shown in the video. I'm going to shake them just to create space for more of them so I can do them in 2 trips. Like I've said, since the carrot rounds were a little more. And then I'm just going to cook the first side of my carrots until they are golden brown, and like you can see right now, I'm just using my fork to flip the other side so I can cook the other side too. So for the carrots, they are going to take you 7 to 10 minutes to roast your carrots. And like you can see, we are just going to be shallow frying our carrots. I didn't add oil that is covering our carrot. That means we are shallow frying our carrots. I'm just going to be turning my carrots several times to make sure I have the perfect golden brown color that I want. I'm going to give them a little shake, rock and roll, and like you can see right now, after 15 minutes, our carrots are ready. I just did the second trip of camera Now let's go ahead and season our carrots again. So for this, I'm just going to use some paprika and ground coriander. Yeah, I'm going to add a half a tablespoon of paprika to my pan and 1 tablespoon of coriander powder as shown in the video, and then I'm going to give that mixture just a good mix with my spoon. I also added a dash of oil. Yeah, back to my pan to make my carrots moist, and then I'm just going to re-add my carrots as shown in the video, and then I'm going to mix them well to make sure they absorb our seasoning. So for the carrots, I didn't use pepper, black or cayenne pepper, since most of them are for the kids. Yeah, if you want to season your carrots, you can just remove them, or your potatoes, you can remove some for the kids before you season them. I'm also going to add a pinch of salt to taste and some fresh chopped coriander, lots and lots of fresh coriander, and then I'm going to give that a good mix and set them aside when they're ready. Now let's go ahead and prepare our last recipe. I'm going to be preparing some stew since we made lots and lots of dry food. I'm going to add a little oil to my pot right there, and then I'm going to add to it some chopped green onion or spring onion. I'm also going to add some chopped green pepper, and since I want my cabbage to have a little green, I didn't fry the onions to golden brown. Then moving on, I'm going to add 3 medium-sized chopped tomatoes as shown in the video, and then I'm going to season this my cabbage stew with some Royco cube. You can just add any of your favorite seasoning that you love and that is at home. Then I'm going to cover my pot and let my tomatoes soften. And after some time, like you can see right there, my tomatoes are already soft. I'm just going to give them a little mix with my wooden spoon. Then moving on, I'm going to be adding my chopped cabbage bit by bit as I mix, so my cabbage can absorb my vegetable mixture. Yeah, and my seasoning. I'll leave you to watch me for a little bit and I'll be right back. After adding all my cabbage, I'm going to add a little bit of salt to taste, and then this time I'm just going to use coriander powder, and then I'm going to add water to slightly cover my cabbage, and then I'm just going to cover my cabbage and cook it for a little while until my stew is ready. And like you can see right there, our cabbage stew is ready and it's looking really good. So I made this cabbage stew since I had some guests and the guests are kids. So I needed some stew for the kids. So I had to think of something to make. Yeah, so I made the cabbage stew and the cabbage stew was really tasty. The seasoning. Kindly subscribe to my channel. Check out my other recipes. You guys watch me a lot, but you don't want to support me. Subscribe to my channel for free. Yeah, to support me. And let's go ahead and check on everything that you made today. To the steak that is in my silver bowl, I'm going to add a little bit of potatoes in it. This was inspired by that look, potatoes in steak. So I'm just going to pick a little bit of my potato halves from my plate right there, and then I'm going to add it to the silver bowl with my steak and mix, and that's ready. Now let's go ahead and check on our vegetable rice. And this is now cold since I made this like in the morning. And look at that, our potato wedges are looking really good, and our carrots are looking juicy and good. And then again, our potato halves are looking really good. And that is our pilau right there, looking good and yummy. Moving on, that's my steak with some potatoes in it. And like you can see right there, that is our chicken. I just added some paprika and some fresh chopped coriander to it. And now that is our ground beef flatbread or mincemeat chapati or mincemeat paratha. They are soft and layered, and like you can see right there, they are looking good. You have to make sure you cover your flatbread after making them. Thanks for watching. I hope you love all the recipes that I made today. See you in my next video. Bye.